Hi guys, today we're going to be talking about the corticospinal tract. Why is it called the corticospinal tract? Well, it goes from the motor cortex in your brain, specifically the precentral gyrus, which is responsible for all motor movement. If you locate the central gyrus in the brain, in the back of the central gyrus is the postcentral gyrus, which is responsible for all sensory innervation, whereas the precentral gyrus is motor, which is the primary job of the corticospinal tract. It originates specifically in the pyramid-shaped cells in the premotor cortex, and this is involved in fine motor activities such as writing or playing the piano. Now let's go over the basics. As you can see here on my model, it originates in the motor cortex. It's going to go down on the same side to the midbrain, where it's going to go through the medial portion of the cerebral pundicle. Now that's a fancy term. What is the cerebral pundicle? It is millions of myelinated white fibers all together into one, making a pundicle. Then after the midbrain, it's going to course down ventrally, which as it is most of the tract, down into the pons. It goes ventrally down into the medulla, and this is where the big move happens, called decussation. 90% of those fibers are going to decussate dorsally and enter the lateral corticospinal tract, whereas the other 10% are going to continue down into the ventral anterior corticospinal tract. The ventral anterior corticospinal tract is going to innervate musculature in the trunk. This influences the lower motor neurons that innervate musculature and extremities in the trunks, as we said. But the main focus of the corticospinal tract is the 90%, and that's when it decussates from the medulla dorsally into the lateral corticospinal tract. So, let's follow the lateral spinal cortical tract. This influences muscles going to the neck and shoulders on the cervical level. However, if we go down to the lumbar level following the lateral corticospinal tract, it's going to innervate the musculature of the thigh predominantly. And then if you go down further to the sacral level of the lateral corticospinal tract, it's going to innervate the musculature of the foot and the lower leg muscles. So you may ask, what if there is a lesion in my corticospinal tract? What kind of symptoms may I have? Well, in your upper motor neurons, if you have a lesion, symptoms may include weakness, paralysis, hyperactive reflexes, decreased motor control, abnormal muscle tone, and even after you recover from an upper motor neuron lesion, studies show that your writing is still impaired. So this tells you that the corticospinal tract is especially important in fine motor movements such as writing and playing the piano. Furthermore, the corticospinal tract is something that makes us distinct from animals. In animals, this tract developed as they began using their four limbs for exploring and affecting the environment. This may include, using tools to better gather food, or using tools to store their food better, or knitting for warmth. As if you look at the corticospinal tract and you compare from animals to humans, humans have by far the best and biggest corticospinal tract. And the corticospinal tract, finally, it terminates mainly in the ventral horn cells, which is responsible for independent digit movements and so forth. If I were to tell you a story about the corticospinal tract, it would start when you have the thought that you want to do a specific voluntary movement. So this voluntary movement is demanded, and it's then sent from my precentral gyrus down to the level of what is needed so I can innervate that given muscle on that given level. In essence, your fibers organize all the movement in your body.